You know, when you have a guy that's 70% owned, 80% owned in some contests, you know, he's just mega busting. I'm just, I'm putting my arms up. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna ship 2 tournaments tonight. I'm gonna ship everything. I'm gonna win all the money tonight. This is the night where it all comes down to I'm gonna win the money. There's no way I don't ship everything. Chalk 70% Norman Powell is busting. I'm top 10 in both my lineups. Going into the fourth quarter, the sun is shining. There is nothing that can stop me. And all of a sudden, Norman Powell turns into Michael frickin' Jordan. He had like 4 points going into the fourth. You want to know what he ended with? He ended with 32 real-life points, 4 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal at 70% ownership. Shot 100% from the field. All I gotta say, fuck you, Norman Powell. Screw you. I will say, I am happy, though, if you did play Norman Powell. I hope he won you some money tonight. But other than that, screw that guy. If you are from the YouTube side of things, my name is Shook_Dash. I make posts on this subreddit called DF Sports. Please come over here. As you can see here, I make posts. I update the posts with the news that comes out. People ask me questions. I respond to them. You can talk strategy with other people, etc. So really good place to be. If you ever need to get a hold of me, you can message me on Reddit, or you can get a hold of me on Twitter at ToryLangley1992. I usually don't do this, boys, but we are so freaking close, man. We are so freaking close to 1,000 subscribers. If we can get 25 subscribers by tomorrow, like, you guys would be absolutely legendary. Just seeing 1,000 next to my name, that would be just fucking crazy. But yeah, let's go over my lives from tonight. For Showdown, we'll go for that, we'll go with that. Yeah, let's do this. Showdown, it was very clear what to do. I told everyone in Discord. Also, if Discord's something you're interested in, I'll have a link to that below where I'll have in-depth videos going over the slate, player pools for cash, GPPs, cores for cash, GPPs, and much, much more. So I pretty much told everyone, play Simons, play Nurkic, play Zubac, go from there. All absolutely smashed, of course. And then I told everyone I liked Reggie Jackson over Norman Powell. That worked out massively in both on the main slate and the Showdown slate. And yeah, to fill out your lineup with everything else. And I told everyone I like Simons the most at captain. He was not the optimal captain, but he absolutely smashed. So this lineup was in the top 10 going into the fourth quarter. And it doesn't freaking cash. Because of Norman Powell. Why? The core that I had tonight for the main slate was Luka Doncic, Terrence Mann, Justice Winslow, Mitchell Robinson. 4 out of 4, absolute smash. But let's. Terrence Mann just doesn't play in the second half. Yusuf Nurkic loses minutes. Okay, guys. Okay. That's cool. But Powell just caused me incredible pain. This lineup was phenomenal. Jeremy Grant fouls out with like 5 minutes to go. Are you kidding me, man? Reggie Jackson, as you guys know, I liked Reggie Jackson in GPPs over Norman Powell at lower ownership. Yusuf Nurkic lost minutes. That was pretty frustrating. Terrence Mann, of course, got benched. And then the core obviously was the same, but really good night for me. Overall, huge winning day. I took down the Sicko. If you guys are a part of ETR, I took that down, so that's pretty cool. So, yeah, let's go over this 13-game slate. Let me take a sip of orange juice real quick. So, it's going to be extremely hard for me to go into detail on why I like each player. The video is just going to take too long, so I'm going to pump this out pretty quick. So we'll get this over pretty quick. I don't want to make this video over 30 minutes, so we'll probably make it like 20, 25-ish. So we'll go over this quick. So I'm not going to go over into detail my like each player, but all right, Philly at Cleveland, tough spot here. No Jared Allen, I do believe, on the other side of this. Yep. So, right? Yeah, Jared Allen's still out. So Embiid gets the Mobley matchup, or whoever they put on him could go small. So I don't think anyone's going to play Joel Embiid. I think the matchup is better against without Jared Allen on the other side of things. So I think Joel Embiid has upside in this matchup. I don't think anyone's going to play him. I think he's a fine GPP play. The only thing that's taken me away from Joel Embiid is center is freaking loaded today. So that is the only thing. I think there are much better center plays. Everyone else on these Sixers is kind of out of play for me outside of Shake Milton. Shake Milton has been phenomenal, playing huge minutes. He's still going to be their clear ball handler. He's still going to be aggressive with no Maxey. So I think Milton's a fine GPP play, even at this price tag with Embiid back. Shake Milton's a guy that's not scared to shoot the ball, right? He's a guy that's going to be aggressive on the offensive end as well. And I'm pretty sure last time Philadelphia played Cleveland, Joel Embiid was getting doubled and tripled at some time. So that could open up a lot of usage for Shake Milton. So I am intrigued by Shake Milton for GPPs, especially if Cleveland is going to double or triple Joel Embiid there. So interested in Joel Embiid and Shake Milton. On the Cleveland side, I can't get to the backcourt here. I can't get to Mitchell. I can't get to Garland. Evan Mobley is it's not listen. Embiid hasn't been the same defensively this year. It's not a tough spot, I don't believe, against Embiid, but the only issue is foul trouble. That's the only issue I have is foul trouble risks up against Joel Embiid. I think at this price tag, I'll probably pass. Jared Allen out, Kevin Love out, Chetty Osman gonna play huge minutes off the bench, gonna go extremely low owned. So I like Chetty for GPPs once again. I have a soft spot for him. Man, seeing Karis LeVert at this price tag is just, it's so freaking painful. If you want to take a shot on Karis LeVert at 4.8K, his minutes have been kind of all over the place, but if you want to do it, be my guest. Yeah, I think that's it for Cleveland. On to Atlanta. So not much here. I think Trae Young, Murray are fine GPP plays. I think if I had to like one more point per dollar, I would prefer just the discount on Murray. Trae Young definitely has a higher ceiling. I think Murray has the definitely not the higher floor either. I think Trae might have the higher floor as well, definitely. So Trae has the higher floor and ceiling. Murray has similar ceiling, but the lower floor. Clint Capella at 6.4K. Just there for me. If you want to go there, be my guest. John Collins has actually had 2 back-to-back really good games. He's not going to go for 4 blocks, 2 steals again. Clint Capella is back as well, so he won't be playing at the 5 as much. So that definitely hurts his floor and ceiling as well. So probably not going to go there. And then I don't really like anything else on the Atlanta side. On Orlando, so Wendell Carter Jr. is out, Jalen Suggs out, Mo Bamba is questionable, but that doesn't really change much. Cole Anthony is back, Markelle Fultz is going to be back, and then they have everyone else back as well. Not much on the Orlando side. I will say if you get like Bamba out, I think Bol is an interesting GPP play. Has flashed his ceiling last game with those guys. So for me, with everyone back, I would only consider Bol if Bamba is indeed out. So on the Miami side, Boston hasn't been the same defensively either, so I'm not necessarily scared of this matchup. It's just really hard to say right now. Harrow's questionable. Caleb Martin's questionable. Max Strus is probable. These guys are all questionable. Like it's really hard to say right now. I will say, with no Jimmy Butler, I think Bam Adebayo looks pretty good. Boston has been really bad against opposing bigs, so I do like Bam Adebayo for tournaments. not a smash play, not somebody I'm going to be going out of my way to play, but I think he's a fine play for GPPs, and I think that's it. We're just going to have to wait and see. I will make an update to the Reddit post when we get that news. So on the Boston side, 2 teams that play slow, 2 teams that play good defense. Just not much here for me. If Brown's in, I'm probably going to take a pass. I think it would just be Brown for me and Al Horford, and that's it really for me personally. But don't like the spot at all. Don't like playing, targeting teams that play slow and play good defense. So I'm kind of out on the Celtics tomorrow. If Brown is out, though, that will change things. Then you're going to have Tatum that's going to look good. You're going to have Smart that's going to look good. You're going to have both the guards in Brogdon and White that would both look good. Their prices didn't go up enough, in my opinion, so I would like both of them. So we're going to have to monitor the Brown news. That's going to change some things. On the Milwaukee side, so Knicks, I think, are about middle of the road in pace, middle of the road in defensive rating. Drew Holiday at 7.3K in play for GPPs. I think it's just Giannis for me at the top. I think Giannis can absolutely just feast in this matchup. Pretty sure he did last time. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I think he's one of the top spend ups on the slate. The only worry is, he's not going to play huge minutes. When you have other guys that are going to play like close to 40 minutes, Giannis isn't going to play close to 40 minutes. He's more going to sit in that like 33 to 35 minute range, which obviously he can still go for like a 70 plus in that time period, right? It's Giannis. So I do think Giannis is one of the better spend ups options on the slate. Uh, on the Knicks side of things, excuse me. So, not much. Milwaukee's been the best defensive team in the league, in my opinion. So, Randall, after exploding tonight for his birthday, not going to get to. Not going to get to Brunson. Don't like the matchup there. RJ Barrett, I think, is probably my favorite play from the Knicks outside of Mitchell Robinson. So, if I had to pick one of the main 3, it would probably be RJ Barrett. I think Emmanuel Quickly is definitely interesting at 4.9K. Probably plays around 25 minutes off the bench. He'll be productive. He'll run that second unit. So I don't hate Quickly, but I think my favorite play from the Knicks here, once again, is going to be Mitchell Robinson at 4.5K. Extremely, extremely tough matchup, but he's just too cheap at 4.5K for the upside he brings. But he is always a guy that is in foul trouble. It's a tough matchup. Here's what I will say: if Mitchell Robinson is going to be low owned tomorrow, I will be all over Mitchell Robinson just because his ceiling, he can absolutely break slates at this price tag. So if that statement here, if Mitchell Robinson is going to be low owned tomorrow, I will be all over him. If he is going to get any inkling of ownership, say over 15-ish%, I want absolutely nothing to do with him. So we will see how that works. But yeah, I like Mitchell Robinson on the Knicks. Good spot here for Washington. I think Beal is an interesting GPP play. I kind of liked him here against Minnesota. I like him here against Brooklyn. Did bust last game, but I really like the spot here against Brooklyn. Beal's, a guy that's going to be the clear number 1 on this team. I think his usage rate is going to be sky high. I think last game was a bit of an outlier. I think this is a spot where you could see him shoot the ball 25 plus times. So I do like Bradley Beal for GPPs, and shooting guard is pretty weak on this slate, if I recall correctly. So I do like Beal for GPPs. Porzingis no, Kuzma no, Denny no, Morris no. So it's just Bradley Beal for me on the Washington side. On the Brooklyn side, no Ben Simmons. Pretty sure TJ Warren is coming back soon. Interesting. But yeah, if you want to go to KD, if you want to go to Kyrie in a good spot against Washington, be my guest. They're just tournament plays for me. I think the real standout here is Nicholas Claxton with no Ben Simmons. I think he's going to have to play huge minutes here. Ben Simmons was taking away minutes from Nicholas Claxton. Ben Simmons was playing a lot of backup 5. So I think Claxton is in a spot here up against Washington where he's just going to have to play huge minutes. A really good point per minute guy, and at 5.8K, I don't think they adjusted his price to this situation. So I think Claxton looks like a very strong center play at 5.8K. Royce, a very safe floor, has a ceiling if he can get like triple-double, close to a triple-double. But when I play him, 6 fantasy points. But every other time I fade, he breaks the slate. So a very, very safe play. I don't hate it. And then I don't think we can go to really anyone else. Ben Simmons being out doesn't really change much outside of Claxton being a pretty strong play. Spurs on the OKC. Spurs against OKC. Jakob Poeltl is going to be out. Josh Richardson is questionable. Keita Bates-Diop is questionable. So, who's messaging me? So let's go over this. So, um, you know, I like this game environment. Spurs play no defense. They play fast. I think Vassell is fine. I think Keldon Johnson is the real standout here. At 7.1K, shot the ball 28 times last game. The rotation has gotten tighter the past two games. 35 minutes here, 37 minutes here. I'm expecting the rotation to stay tight with what they've been doing of late. So if we're going to get these huge minutes of Keldon Johnson at 7.1K, and he's going to be extremely, extremely low owned tomorrow, I do like him a lot for GPPs. I think Trey Jones is a good GPP play. Like I said, minutes have been going up of late. So I like both of these two main guys from the Spurs for GPPs here. And with no Jakob Poeltl, Zach Collins is going to move into the starting role for the Spurs in most likely. So assuming Zach Collins starts, I think he plays around 25 minutes. Could play a little bit more. He's a really good point per minute guy as well. Assuming he starts and assuming he plays that much, I think Zach Collins stands out as a really, really good value play. So keep an eye on that news. If Keita Bates-Diop plays, with no Sochan is out, so I'd assume Keita Bates-Diop moves into the starting lineup. Keita Bates-Diop isn't like a massive fantasy point producer, like fantasy producer, but he's a guy that can average about a fantasy point per minute. So I think Keita Bates-Diop is a good value play, assuming he starts with no Sochan. So just monitor the starting lineup there for the Spurs. Let me take a sip of orange juice. Sorry, guys. So I really like the spot here. Really like the spot here for OKC. Phenomenal matchup against the Spurs. They play no defense. If SGA plays and we get news he's not limited, I'm going to play SGA. I think he stands out as one of the best spin-ups on the slate. Assuming he plays, I absolutely love SGA in this matchup. Up against the Spurs if he plays. Giddey, I think it would be solid even at this price tag too, even with SGA in. And then I wouldn't get to anyone else. But if SGA is out, that's where things change. Josh Giddey is going to be an absolute smash. He's going to be a must for me if SGA is out. With no SGA, Josh Giddey's usage rate skyrockets. It must be one of the highest usage rate changes in the league. If I had to guess, Josh Giddey with no SGA, his usage rate has to be one of the highest in the league. If I had to guess, it's just that high with no SGA. So I would absolutely freaking love Josh Giddey if SGA is out. Dort, no thank you. And then the bench, good luck. And then I'd assume Trey Mann would start with no SGA, and I think he would be a really good value as well. Trey Mann's not a bad point per minute guy. God's going to chuck the ball when he's out there. So love Trey Mann, assuming he starts if SGA is out. So yeah, potentially some things to like there with Oklahoma City. I need to party this up. All right, Toronto at the Pelicans. Not much on Toronto. Siakam is back. I'm pretty sure he had a good game. Yeah, good game in 30 minutes. So can't get to Boucher with Siakam back. Played 22 minutes last game. I think Fred, probably my favorite play on the Raptors, but no standouts here for the Raptors. I think it's pretty easy to talk about. I will go over to the Pelicans now. On the Pelicans side of things, so Brandon Ingram is out. CJ McCollum is questionable. If CJ's in, I like the main guys. I like CJ. I like Zion. Jonas Valanciunas is incredibly hard to play here, especially the matchup against Toronto isn't good. Then I'd be off everyone else. But if CJ is out, even in a tough spot, I would really like Zion at sub 9K. He would be too cheap. So, but love Zion. We all know Jonas Valanciunas is going to go for 50 tomorrow, but really hard to trust him. They just don't want to play him. Plus, he got into foul trouble, so they just want to close with somebody else besides him. He's just in the doghouse right now, so really hard to trust that. And then we probably get Trey Murphy, Jose Alvarado both starting. Both will be fine plays, but the price went up, so not really standouts to me. But both will be solid, fine plays, but not standouts. Not going to go out of my way. They would be more like if I land on him as the last man in, I'm completely okay with it. Same with Herb Jones, kind of thing. So Yeah, I think that is it for the Pelicans. I guess Dyson Daniels is playable if they're out as well. On the Memphis side of things, so good spot here for Memphis. Dylan Brooks is questionable. I like Jock quite a bit. I think the price tag might scare people off, but I'm not worried about that. Has one of the highest usage rates in the league. Triple double upside. His floor plus ceiling is great. Like the matchup, good spot. Both teams play fast. Sign me up for some Jaw. I think he looks great. Jaren Jackson, no thank you. Dylan Brooks, no thank you. Steven Adams is always fine, but not going to go there. Now, if Dylan Brooks is out, I mean, would love Ja as a spend up. Like, who's going to shoot the ball? With like Dylan Brooks takes 20 plus shots a game. That's just so much more shot attempts for Ja to make. So, and just so much more usage for Ja to take. So, would love Ja if Brooks is out. And then you can consider a guy like Conchar. You can consider a guy like Aldama, who probably would move into the starting or would yeah probably be Santi. You can consider him, but I don't think we need to go there. He'd be fine. Not a must for me, but I think he'd be a good value play. On the Timberwolves side, Cat out. McDaniels is questionable. I think this McDaniels news is actually pretty big, because he's a big part of this team, and he's a really good defender. And I'd assume he would be I don't know who he would defend, but that's pretty big news. But Cat out. I like all the Minnesota guys more. I think Ant's too cheap. I think Gobert's too cheap. I think D'Lo's too cheap. With no Cat, he's their clear high usage player right now. A lot of shot attempts, a lot of usage, a lot of rebounds, a lot of potential assists to go around. So Ant-Man, Rudy, D'Lo, all too cheap for me. I like all three quite a bit. If McDaniels is out, you can consider Noel for value. Probably plays around 25 minutes. Going to be extremely high usage when he's out there, but kind of reliant on the scoring. He's not going to shoot 70% from the field again, but more of an ownership thing for me. If he's going to be popular, I want nothing to do with it. If he's going to be low owned, I like him for value just because he has a pretty high ceiling. And then with Cat out, my guess is Kyle Anderson starts at 3.8K. He would be a pretty good value play. Would like him quite a bit for value, assuming he starts. And then the off chance they do start Naz Reid, he would be a really good value. So keep an eye on the starting lineup for Minnesota. On to Houston. So no standouts here. Tough spot against Denver. I think I'll just pass on this team. I think it's just insanely easy to talk about. Phenomenal spot here. They got blown. They blew them out last game, but yeah, Jokic is going to crush if this game stays close. So I think Jokic makes for a good spend up. Jamal Murray too pricey. No Michael Porter Jr. So you can consider Aaron Gordon, but I don't think I'm going to be going to anyone else. I think it's just Jokic at the top for me. So John Wall, I believe will be back. He only sat because it was a back-to-back, front end of a back-to-back, I believe. But I believe that injury management is bullshit. So with John Wall back, not much. I do like the spot for Zubac, so maybe Zubac is my favorite play. How many minutes did he play tonight? Only 28. That is quite interesting. So just be careful there. Minutes definitely not secure. That rotation tonight was just whack. Morris minutes have been all over the place. Good luck there. John Wall being back definitely hurts Reggie on a 13 game slate. Fine. Pal has upside, but 5.3K now. John Wall coming back. 13 game slate. I don't think I can do it. Terrence Mann, fine option. So yeah, not much on the Clippers for me. On the Utah side of things, so yeah, not much here either. Mike Conley's still out. I think everyone's just GPP plays for me, like Mark Clark, Olynyk at these price tags, just GPP plays. I think Clarkson definitely my favorite. I think he just has the highest ceiling between the bunch. Malik Beasley, 5.5K, has been very, very good. I think my favorite plays are definitely these guards, Malik Beasley and Colin Sexton, who have probably play over 30 minutes. They're going to be, handling the ball the most. I think I prefer Sexton to Beasley. Both probably score around 25 to 30 fantasy points. So, like both the guards for the Utah, but outside of that, I don't think I like anything else. On Chicago, so no standouts here for me. DeMar, Vooch, Levine, fine. tough spot. Not going to go to anyone on Chicago. Easy to talk about there. So, yeah, Chris Paul out. I'm going to continue to like Booker until he lets me down. I swear, Booker has never failed me. So, with his usage rate, with his, him handling the ball as much with no Chris Paul, his floor and ceiling. He's also playing huge minutes right now. So just, yeah, fire up Booker at low ownership. I think Ayton at this price tag is more of just a GPP play for me. Campaign, has been terrible. I don't understand why, but I think this is a good bounce back spot for him. Now that the price went down, so I do like campaign for GPPs. And then I don't think I can get to anyone else. What is going on with my phone? I definitely apologize about that. Last two games here, guys. Phenomenal spot here. Two teams play no defense. Two teams play fast. Sign me up, man. Sign me up. Revenge game narrative for Halliburton. Double upside pretty much every slate. Yeah, revenge game narrative. Phenomenal matchup. Gonna play 35-ish minutes. Just, yeah. Always goes low owned, too. So, really like Halliburton. Miles Turner, I think, is a fine option. Bigs against Sacramento have been good. Buddy Hield is okay, but he's been god-awful of late. If you want to go there, he does have upside. Mathurin shit the... no, he had a good game against the Lakers. I thought he shit the bed, but just a GPP play. Jalen Smith's minutes have been all over the place, but this is a matchup where he could absolutely crush. I'm interested for GPPs. Nembhard had a game-winning shot, but I don't think we need to go there on the 13-game slate. That's it for Indiana. On the Sacramento side, so same thing. Phenomenal spot. Two teams that play fast. Sabonis, 9-2. Like him quite a bit. Maybe not the best individual matchup, but this game environment just absolutely DFS friendly. So like Sabonis quite a bit. I like Fox quite a bit as well. Nobody's going to play these guys. So like both the main guys for Sacramento, I don't even think Huerter's the worst option too. Huerter has been absolutely phenomenal this year. He's a good rebounder. He's a good scorer, good three-point shooter. I don't hate Kevin Huerter. I think Indiana's been giving up a ton of three-point shots as well. So I think Huerter, I think he looks good in the mid-range at 5.5K. Malik Monk absolutely exploded last game, but his minutes are all over the place. Hard to really go there. Pouring at the Lakers, so I've been targeting guards against the Lakers all season long, so Simon's probably going to be chalky tomorrow, especially after tonight, but Lakers are terrible against guards. Yeah, Simon's, I think, looks pretty good. Jeremy Grant has been continuing to crush. If you want to ride the hot streak in a phenomenal matchup, be my guest. Nurkic, I think, looks good at 6.9K. Like the spot for him. He's too cheap. Hart, pretty sure he left the game. Oh, he came back. He's a fine play. Winslow starting, playing huge minutes. I like him for value. So a lot to like with Portland tomorrow, personally for me. On the Lakers, there's nothing. AD, LeBron, both probable. I don't want anything to do with the Lakers tomorrow. So I hope this helped you guys out, and I hope you have a good night, and I will talk to you tomorrow.